This was a video I wasn't really intending to make, but thanks to a fellow Kross user from Argentina, I now know that the Kross has a keyboard pitch tracking facility, although it isn't called that by Korg. In this video I'm going to start with an initialized patch, and I'm going to show the examples of keyboard pitch tracking that I referred to in my previous video, number 10, on AMS. So as well as turning the keyboard around so that the highest note is at the bottom and the lowest note is at the top, I'm going to build a really powerful sub-bass sound using keyboard pitch tracking. Starting with an initialized program, press the menu key and scroll down to PMFX. I'm going to put some master effects on this to start with, just to give it a bit of life. On number 2, I'm going to go to effect number 102, which is the stereo BPM mod delay, and the return I'm going to set to about 69. Now there's no rule that says you can't use reverb on a bass sound, but typically it works better without reverb, so I've just given it a bit of delay rather than reverb to fatten it up a little bit, give it a bit of space. Now let's press the menu key again and go into the pitch page, and you'll notice that there's a pitch slope setting which is presently set to +1. Set that to -1, and you'll notice it starts to change the pitch. If you set it to 0, every key will play the same note wherever you play on the keyboard. If you then use the offset, and drag that down to -10, that brings the pitch down even further. And if you go to transpose and bring that down to -12, and then change the octave down to -2, you'll get that really low end growl. The piano sound I've been using doesn't make much of a sub-bass sound, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to press the menu key and I'm going to go into the POSC page, or P oscillator page, and I'm going to change the first sample that I'm using to 217, which is the Synbass RBSQR. And I'm going to lower the level from 127 to about 73 or 74, because all we want to do is to have a sub-bass sound that rumbles at the back of the main sound that we're going to produce. Now, an initialized sound has only one oscillator, and I'm going to change that by pressing the menu key and going to the P basic setting. Now you'll see an OSC setting that is presently set to single. If you use the arrow key and then use the dial, set that to double, and then press menu, you've now got a 2 oscillator sound. If I play a tone now, you can hear that sub-bass sound rumbling underneath the main bass note. Now that's a piano sound, so I want to change that again. I'm going to go to the POSC page again, and I'm going to use oscillator 2. So if you change the OSC setting in the left hand corner to 2, and then change the sample to something a bit more interesting, I've used number 225, which is the Wobble Wave 1. And if I set the level to 0 and then start gradually increasing it, you can hear that bass sound, and it's being reinforced by that sub bass. I've started with the level at 0, so all you can hear is the first oscillator. and that first oscillator is acting as a sub bass and really reinforcing the fatness of the sound of the other one. Another variation on this idea is to change oscillator 1 to produce an unpitched sound, something like a drum, or in this case I've used number 263 noise repeat. The volume between the two oscillators has to be very carefully balanced, and I've set it in this case to 42, so that it's really reinforcing the bass note in oscillator 2. I've also changed the octave up to +1 and transposed it up to +12, so you'll get this.